Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, mate. How are you?
Well, that's the thing. You're always fantastic, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for saying so. I'll give you the money later.
But you are one of those people that's perpetually happy at their work.
Well, listen, if you find something you love doing, then there's no point in being mad at it. Just kind of get on with it. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got to have this happy disposition, I guess.
It's not a bad way to be in the world of show business, sure it isn't.
No, not in the slightest. Especially all the things you have to deal with when you're in show business yourself.
What's the worst part of it, Danny? Be honest with me.
The worst part of show business.
Yeah. Apart from airports.
That is definitely the worst part, and there's no apart from airports, it's heaven. It's just the traveling. I remember there was a famous quote from I think it was Keith Richards, who said I've been in rock and roll now for 40 years, and I've been waiting around for 39 of those.
You are
And
not
it's
wrong.
basically that's it. It's hurry up and wait. Because every other aspect I love. You know what I mean? I love meeting people. Love playing music. I love traveling. I love doing everything. So I think it's probably just the amount of traveling you have to do. But look again, it's what we call a posh problem.
And you're pretty keen on the writing as well.
Yeah, listen, I love it. Absolutely love it. Look, I'm a storyteller too, and I pretty much I collect stories, and there's no better way to collect stories than to travel.
My goodness, you've had some 12 months to put a lot of stories together, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had an incredible 12 months. For various different reasons, very triumphant and tragic all in the one. But look, that's what you get when you buy a script album is you get us just literally talking about what's happened since the last album.
How much different is this from Science and Faith, the new album, number 3?
We've definitely reached a different emotional level on it, and I guess it's the peaks and troughs are even higher or lower than on the last two albums because there's definitely a different sense about the band now. We're a lot more I say confident as a band, but we're all feeling really good, man. We're feeling really confident, and there's like two or three songs that really reflect that. We have a song called "The Good Old Days." It's basically just talking about like, man, just don't forget about thinking about the past or the future. It's like these are the good old days, In when we're all old and grey, we will be talking about these days now, like they're the good old days. So basically, just shut up and have a laugh.
Danny O'Donnell, what age are you to be talking about the good old
Me,
days?
I'm going to be 31 this year.
Oh, here, time to slow down.
21, I mean.
Well, good news this week because the last time I was chatting to you, you were just getting geared up to play the Aviva Stadium, and now you've announced that you're going back to Dublin and somewhere slightly smaller.
Yeah, slightly smaller. Lansdowne Road. No, no, we're heading back to go back to basics really, and play smaller venues. 1,000-seater venues because we definitely want to feel what these songs feel like, just being played to our real hardcore fan base, and in small rooms as well. So it's going to be incredible gigs, and the atmosphere in those gigs, they're second to none. They really are.
Remind us where they are.
We're playing in Cork, Dublin. We're playing Manchester, Scotland, and London, and then that's just pre-shows before we put the actual tour tickets on sale.
What about Belfast, can I ask you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, there's dates in there as well, but I can't tell you who, what, why, where, and when.
No, that's good to know.
Oh no, it's absolutely, yeah, of course, Belfast, right in there.
You mentioned about the fans. You're one of those bands that has a good connection with the fans through
Yeah.
social media and what have you. You're doing a live web chat today, aren't you?
We've always felt that it's massively important for new bands to be, literally constantly in contact with their fans. I know there's a lot of bands out there who don't believe that, and they'll fall on their own swords really. But in today's day and age, where obviously a lot of social media is really really important. When I say to your business, but even we're in the business of music,
Hmm.
and it's even better to be able to spread music through those networks. And in a day and age where a lot of record companies really don't know how to kind of, I guess, how to use it in a way. We're always on there actively. It's either me, Mark, or Glenn is always up there. It's, sure, different bands have like their interns kind of, hey, this is from some band's headquarters, blah blah blah. It's us by the stupid things that we're putting up there. By the
Bad
clothes.
spelling.
And yeah, well, yeah, thanks very much. You've been reading my tweets too much then.
It is important because I was chatting to somebody earlier on, and they said that their mother was a huge fan of the script, but at the same time, their granddaughter was a fan of the script. Do you know what I mean? So you're
Yeah,
you're covering those bases. That must be down to the voice.
No, in fairness, we've always enjoyed like a massive, massive broad slice of society, I guess. It's funny because we spend so long on the lyrics. Like we spent maybe 10 years doing music and production to kind of look after the bottom end and the beats. And there's two types of people in the world. There's people who listen to beats and there's people who listen to lyrics. And we spend a lot of time on each one of those. And it's normally the kids would be listening to the likes of the beats and how fast it is and how can you dance to it.
Mm.
But then adults listen to the lyrics a lot more. So we seem to have this kind of two-layered process going on that like the younger people can get into it because it is quite hip hop and it's a bit of a skip in the beat and stuff. But then also parents and stuff could get into it because we have spent a long time on the lyrics and we do take a lot of pride in, telling stories and stuff. So it's a little something for everyone, I guess.
And there you're talking about the manufacturing of the sound and working with Will I Am as well. How did you
Yeah.
find that?
I loved it, because he's always been a massive hero of mine, especially in the production game. A lot of people probably just know him best for the Black Eyed Peas stuff or the stuff he sings, but he's been involved in hundreds and millions of record sales, just down to production and the bands that he's worked with in the past. I mean, I didn't even realize he'd worked with U2 in the past as well, on a song called "If I Don't Go Crazy Tonight" on their last album. And it's like it just goes to show you the stature. He's worked with Michael Jackson, people like U2, but yet he would still be humble enough to come in and let the script produce him, which I find is just still to this day is mind blowing.
His most recent single, he launched it in Mars. Hall of Fame, do you think you could launch that on the moon?
Nah, man, that's a Milky Way song, man. We need that going across the whole solar system. That's
Well, you've been trending worldwide on Twitter, so you might as well go intergalactic.
yeah, might as well, yeah, exactly.
Danny, just briefly on The Voice itself. An enjoyable experience, obviously, for yourself.
Yeah, of course, man. I loved it. I had a whale of a time, man. It was definitely my first experience actually being on television and actually trying to sit there and give a good comment because no matter what you say, there's gonna be 50-50. People are gonna agree or disagree. So I was glad that somebody in a band actually got up off their ass and went
Mm.
on a show like that because there's not that many spots for bands these days, and I'm urging anybody who plays a guitar, a piano, or even writes lyrics, go on those shows, go on The Voice because in general, you're not going to find any other show that's going to, fit in the same morals as The Voice.
Well, Tom Jones was on the show last week and he speaks highly of you. He said he enjoyed your honesty.
Well, yeah.
There you go. So tell me something, right? Very, very quickly. Danny O'Donoghue walks onto stage at The Voice, right? And you're sitting listening to him, right? What would you say to him?
Oh my God, that's a crazy, crazy question. What would I say? I'd say, where are you from, son? I'm from Dublin. Really? Yeah. Do you play guitar? Yeah, I play guitar. Well, you know what you should do, Dan? What should I do, Dan? You should probably take the money that you've spent on those guitar strings and buy lottery tickets because you've got more chances of becoming famous than that.
Danny O'Donoghue, it's always a pleasure and look forward to seeing you in Belfast.
Thank you, brother.
No
Great
problem.
talking to you. Talk to you soon.